Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. This is Nathaniel Kimpton Productions here today, and welcome to Railworks, a Terrain Simulator 2017. Now, for those of you that don't know where we are on my fictional heritage stroke preserved railway, the Black Valley Line. Going for a little cab ride today with number 5660, 5600, and 4 lovely Great Western coaches. Now, as we... oh, where's the thing? Just there. As we go along today, the journey today is only 4 miles, so it's not very far. We have a quick look. There we go. That's the whole route there. It's very short, but yeah, I think it was 4 miles or something. I think it is something like that. Anyway, oops, should have done that, shouldn't I? There we go. So yes, that's what we're going to be doing today. Again, Blackthorn is quite a quiet station, an even smaller signal box than Blackmore Junction, which is probably inaccurate, but I think it looks quite neat. We'll start at this end of the line. These flower bed things, I borrowed the idea of these from, if you recall, the Thamesby branch, the Seaside Railway we looked at a few weeks ago. Just because I thought it looked good. It's quite a nice idea, I thought. It's different and it looks quite good. Oh, we're blowing off. Brilliant. I'm just going to use as much steam as I possibly can. There we go, that'll do. So we've got shed and servicing facilities. There are no inspection pits or ash pits yet. I haven't actually got round to doing that, but I will do at some point. They will be going over here where the resident prairie tank sits, 5514. I've tried to give it a sort of preserved railway feel. I need to replace these lamps here. They don't actually work. I put them down because I thought they looked quite nice. But when I set the route to go into night time, they didn't actually do anything useful. They kind of just... They don't emit light, they just make the ground change colour, and it looks very, very silly. So I'll be replacing them for some slightly more modern ones. And I'll also be putting in some sort of tube light type things in the shed here, an orange glow. So you get an orange glow come out the door here, which I think will be quite nice. As you can see from this block of brickwork here, the engine shed currently sits on the site of the old goods yard facilities, which is why that's there. That's a base for a 3-ton Great Western Railway 3-ton yard crane. And you've got an old water tank thing there, but the railway used this one because it's a bit smaller, it's a bit easier to maintain than that bloody great thing, but they've left it there for prosperity. I don't really know why this is here, to be perfectly honest, because it used to be a goods facility over this side, so I don't know why that's there for the moment. I'm still trying to work that out. But, yes, if we go along this way, you can see another bricked up tunnel entrance here. Where the line used to continue further. But of course, this is the only section they were able to save. The head shunt is probably far too long for primarily tank engines. They do have a resident Colic Goods 2251, but that's not here at the moment. That's been taken off for repairs. Which, thinking about it, I now need to find a way of getting locomotives on and off the track, don't I? Which I hadn't thought of before. Yes, they do it down the other end. They do it down at Blackmore. That's how they do it. there we go, sorted. See, you've got quite a sizable town here, which is actually bigger than I wanted it to be. But I think it looks alright myself. Yeah, it's alright, I suppose. And then we've got a river, clearly, because it's a valley. It needs to have a purpose. Watercut Valley. Now, this little scene here I do quite like, which is the sorry, the river bridge from Bath Temple Combe route, which I think looks very nice sat over here, because it spans both the river and the road with only one support pillar. I think it looks quite nice. I might well change this bridge to the Victoria Bridge on the Severn Valley, which I recently downloaded from Steam Sound Supreme. Very nice route, by the way. You should go and pick it up. It's in beta, but it's very nice. So I might replace it. I don't know yet. I think it'll fit. Without further ado, let's get a move on. Yes, there's not much, really. There's not much, really, to say. Oops, sorry about that. When I have finished the route, and also when I've worked out how to do this route will be uploaded to the Steam Workshop for you all to download at your leisure. I don't know when, because I need to finish the route, and I also need to work out how to actually upload said route to the workshop, because I don't know how, which is an interesting thing. I'm driving the 5600 in advanced mode, so I might not be particularly good at it. I'm not quite used to it just yet. I don't know where all our steam is disappearing to, though. Perhaps if I put the blowers on a little bit, maybe that'll do something. So, yeah, the route, there's not much to look at the moment. I mean, there's plenty of trees and things. If we hit this view and have a look out, you can see that I've used the 3D trees a lot more than I usually would do. Usually I would stop the 3D trees about here somewhere, and put the 2D ones down, but I wanted to just to see what it was like to have the 2D trees only in the distance, and I think you can agree that it does work really quite well, I think. Yeah. So just be aware of that when, if you download this route, it might tax your computer quite a bit. So what I'll probably do is maybe clone this version of the route and take some of the 3D trees away, so people with a lower spec computer can have a chance at running the route as well. Which I think seems fair. Yeah, it's quite an easy route to drive. As you can see, roughly the first 2 miles, I think 2 miles is at 1 in 150, and then the last section is on the level. So it's quite an easy route to drive. The shadows appear to be having a bit of a tough time, but if I zoom in a little bit, they seem fine. So. Perhaps if I stay zoomed in a little bit, maybe that'll do. Maybe that'll do something. That's a bit strange. Never mind. See, we're on the level now, so I can take the reverser back quite a bit. And I can probably stop shoveling coal, chuck a bit of water in the boiler, and shut the dampers, and blow us off as well, because we're blowing off, as you can see. It's a very easy route to drive. I wanted it to be an easy route to drive, so novices, I say novices, but you know, people that aren't quite used to the driving, are able to drive the route in relative ease. Because there are a few freeware routes that are a little bit tricky to drive. When I first got the F-Weight branch, I couldn't actually get up the hill past the old colliery. I always used to get stuck on that hill. Which was embarrassing at times, I must admit. All of the place names start with black and then end in something else. So on this version we've got Blackthorn and Blackmore. And in the other should I tell you the other version names? Probably not, no. Yeah, why not? We've got Blackthorn, Blackmore Junction. I also think somewhere we've got... Oh, I can't remember them off the top of my head now. Can't remember at all, actually. Bit embarrassing, but never mind. It's a very short route, as I say. It's only 4 miles total length. Well, roughly 4 miles anyway. So 8-mile round trip. We're not doing a round trip today because that would take a long time with my rabbiting. It's taken quite a while actually to get the route complete this far. I know that some of you are probably going to be laughing at me for taking so long, but I had a lot of working out to do, planning, stuff like that, problems with the route editor not playing ball, and yada yada yada, need I go on. Under the little bridge here, because there's no tunnels on on this version of the route. I wanted there to be something that goes over the route, but I didn't want any tunnels yet. There are on another version of the route, which I call version 2, which is actually wrong. This is version 2, technically speaking. But the other versions of the route are sort of backwards in time a little bit, if that makes any sense. So this is the modern day preserved section, and then the versions come before that, if that makes any sense. So this is modern day, and the other version of this route that I've got, for example, is set slightly further back in time. Why can't I put my brakes on? Oh, this is going well. I'll have to use this. Don't know why I can't use my... Oh, now I can. Well, okay, fine. Whatever. Thanks, game. Stupid thing. So, I'm not going to run round properly. I'm literally just going to shove the engine down on the head shunt down here, and then give you a proper tour of this station at this end. Yeah, I forgot the handbrake isn't particularly good on this thing. Don't really need to take on water or coal or anything. I'm just going to leave it there. Okay, so starting from the mouth of the station, as you saw earlier on, we've got the platform, run loop, and a couple of sidings. The sidings don't really have a purpose as such. They just hold, for the moment, as you can see, they hold some of the railways bits and pieces. They've got a demonstration goods train stored up this end with a few random milk tankers, an old thumper unit, and another curious looking demonstration goods train, and a couple of random hopper wagons. It seems today there is some sort of vintage vehicle show going on. We've got a couple of old, got an old car there, a lorry with a rather modern speedboat on the back, and a couple of vintage, probably Second World War vehicles, and a bus which appears to be glowing from underneath. Okay. And the rather temporary, granted, eating facilities at Blackmore for the moment. That will be changed in later versions. And the very small car park. And over their hill, you can just see there, we have the little village, which I don't know if I've done much with. No, I haven't. There's roads there. Oh, and the cars do go on the roads. Not that you can actually see them, but that's only for aesthetics. That's not, doesn't really, you know, do anything. And then, whoops, you've got the road that goes down to here. Very rubbish quality, as you can see. I don't really know why I bothered to put grass down there, to be honest with you. You don't actually see it from all the way up here. Or do you? Let's have a look. No. You actually, in fact, can't even see the road, but it's there. That's quite a nice reflection, actually, on the top of this canopy here. Very nice. All the platforms on this route are kitted out properly, with benches and lampposts. I think it's only this one at the moment that I bothered to put the flower bed things, pardon me, down. Yes, it's quite a basic little station, as you can see. There's not much here. A little crossing for the passengers to walk over from the car park across here to the platform, and they're able to have a nice good look at the vintage vehicles as well, and some of the wagons if they choose to. Now, if we head up this way, you can see that there is a gap down here from the end of the platform. This is a little walking path type thing that passengers can go for a walk on. It's unfinished. It's a little bit overgrown, and you can't really see the main attraction, which is the bricked up tunnel. Ignore the track. That's not supposed to be there. At that end. And then if we fly along back, you got to have a glimpse of it there. If we follow this siding along here, there is a viaduct. An old disused viaduct, which used to carry the rest of the route along this very, in fact, overgrown embankment into this tunnel, which is unfinished. Obviously. And we've got some farmland underneath it. I don't really know why the viaduct is there. I just thought it was quite imposing. You can't actually see it from the track. Fact, you don't need to know, the track was supposed to come all the way over here, right round here, and then go in, so you can see the viaduct. But I wanted a bit more space on this side. I wanted it to start clinging to the side of this valley here. Because on another version, you go through this tunnel. There's nothing here now, but on another version, you go through that tunnel and you cling to the side of the valley for dear life, and it does look really rather nice. Scenery, as you can see, starts to get a bit more wild and a bit more sort of rugged up here. It does look quite good at night time, actually, because you've got the station lights, and then you've got the signal box light, which... oh, I've not done it on this version. I must have been doing it on the other route. Never mind. Yeah. The other version of the route is fully lit. I'm still working on the lighting for this one, which is going alright. Just spotted the station master's bicycle down there, chained to the fence. Sorry if it was a bit boring. I didn't really plan this video very well, which is why it was quite dull. But I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye!